Can you read out the title of PPT? Yes. Will somebody read out the title of PPT? Students? Hello? If you are able to read and if you are not using mic, just message me in the chat box. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So what is the title? Title of PPT? Just read out.
Sir, the PPT is not visible.
That is why I'm asking. Yes. Now can you read out?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Bilateral and multilateral trade laws.
Okay, fine. So today we are beginning unit number 2, and this is about the trade policy. Till yesterday we were discussing trade theory. Barabar na? Till yesterday's session we have covered trade theories, and today onward we will be talking about trade policy. So international trade theory part is over. Will somebody share that what we have covered in international trade theory in unit number 1? Quickly, anyone? बताओ जल्दी. Yes.
Absolute theory, comparative theory, Helen and Hopland theory.
Okay. And remember one thing. Even other students also, they can unmute and they can start speaking. This should not happen that only 1 or 2 students are participating and others are remain silent. Others should also equally, they should also participate, and it will give you the happiness. Let me tell you, it will give you a pleasure when you participate in a class, whether it is offline or online, because that also invites our attention. Simply remain silent hours and hours will not serve the purpose. So as Ishika said that absolute theory, comparative theory, and Ishika, who has developed absolute theory? Who is the author of absolute theory?
Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. And comparative theory? Comparative theory?
Richard
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Comparative theory is developed by Ricardo. And apart from this, we also discuss the theory which is developed by Olin and Heckscher. So that also. Now, today we are talking about bilateral and multilateral trade laws. These are nothing but the policies. So theory we have discussed. Now, what about the policy? And see, policies are also very important, whether it is at a local level, state level, or maybe national level or international level. Policies really matters a lot. If you do not form policy, then desired objective may not be achieved. So in order to achieve desired objective, one has to have a policy. And that is why policies are also equally important while studying theory. So theory we have covered so far. Now today we are talking about policies. Now let me tell you, or let me ask you, have you observed maybe in a week's time or earlier that there are some policies which are happening in our say globe, which are happening at an international level? Anyone? What is your observation? I am giving you the hint. In last couple of days, it was happening at international level. What was that? What was that? Or nothing has happened? Yes, Prithvi, Pratik Patil. Sania Balai. Can you hear me, Sania? Yes.
Regarding what, sir?
Regarding policies, international policies, which have happened in a couple of days. And some policies.
Export duties on onion.
Export duty on onion, okay. And about some policy matters, you are correct. Export duty on onion, that is what that was 40%, and then government of India, they reduced that 40%. Correct, no? Rohan? Is it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, anyone of you have heard G20, which happened in couple of days? G20.
Yes, that happens in New Delhi.
Yes, it happened in New Delhi, and it was between the ASEAN countries. ASEAN.
Yes.
ASEAN countries where India, Bangladesh, Philippines, and there are also other countries who had participated in the ASEAN country. And you might have seen in TV also. And there were the agreement between India and say Bangladesh and India with other countries. So this has happened recently. Why I am referring this example? So that you can link what you are studying in MBA course, that is International Business Economy, so that you can relate that whatever we are studying, that doesn't mean it just remains in a book. It is happening. And let me tell you, friend, this is not the just job of politician or our prime minister. This is the job of everyone, at least to know. No doubt, they have authority. He is a prime minister. Someone is, say, finance minister. Someone is external affairs minister. So they are involved, and we are watching them on a TV. But as a citizen, as a student of MBA, what politicians are working upon these policies and what we are learning in our MBA, at least you can relate that knowledge. Is it? Is it possible or not? Or it is not possible? I am asking you, students.
Yes, sir. Possible.
It is possible, na? So don't think that it is just theory and it is not working. It is not like that. Even politicians, they are not coming directly from the sky. They are also from us only. Someone is becoming a finance minister, someone is becoming prime minister. So they are also from us only. आपल्यातूनच ते गेलेले ते लोक. And they are, one never know. Maybe from your batch, someone, I'm not saying that he will or she will become minister, but they might be involved in the policy making. One never know. But at least today your duty is that to understand what is happening at a world level and what we are studying. Is it really related to what we are learning, or it is not at all related? At least you can test that. So let me tell you that as you answered that G20, it happened in New Delhi. So policies are being happen recently. I think 3 days before only. It was 2 days conference in Delhi, G20. It was for 2 days. And a lot of trade policies happen during this G20 conference. So this is recent happening. That is why I wanted to give you this reference, a very practical reference. So whenever you find time, or rather you should make out your time, just go through the again news, watch the channel, or get the news of G20 through your Google engine, search engine, and read it. What is ASEAN countries? Many students, they may not be aware. That is, what is ASEAN? Asian is different. Asian is different. ASEAN is different. European is totally different. So European is one of the group. ASEAN is another group. Asian is another group. Gulf countries, that is different group. African countries are again different groups. So there is a group of countries and they are labeled like this. You might have heard European countries, Gulf countries. ऐकले का नाही असं? European,
Yes,
Gulf.
sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, ASEAN is also one of the group, and India is one of the part of ASEAN group.
Yes.
So at least after lecture, try to find out in ASEAN country how many nations are member of this ASEAN country. Who are the country?
20, sir.
Yeah, 20, correct. So in European countries, in our African countries, how many
And
countries are there?
one is European Union.
European one. And how many nations are in European Union? How many nations? किती
I
देश आहेत
think
त्याच्यामध्ये?
6 countries.
6. So there are 9 countries who are into European and
Okay.
African countries. African,
I think 1 country. South Africa.
and what about Brazil?
Brazil. Yes.
So I'm just giving you the hint. Whenever you find time, just get this information. African countries, African group. How many countries are there? In ASEAN, how many? As you answered, 20. Okay. Gulf country, how many? We should know. Like we study our India, say in India, number of states. Then suppose in Maharashtra, number of district. Then out of that district, suppose in Pune, how many taluka in Pune? बरोबर की नाही? आपलं समजा आपण सिटी जर म्हटलं पुणे सिटी, then how many corporations in Pune city? So there are 2 corporations, Pimpri Chinchwad and Pune Municipal Corporation. And then in Pune Municipal Corporation, how many sub area? Like say Dhankaudi, Shivaji Nagar, Swargate, Camp and so on. हे जसं आपल्याला माहित असतं आपल्या लोकल एरियामधलं, तसं आपल्याला स्टेट बद्दल, नेशन बद्दल, देन इंटरनॅशनल, देन हे जे तुम्हाला सांगितलं डिफरंट ग्रुप्स, आफ्रिकन, आशियन, हे पण आपल्याला माहित असणं गरजेचं आहे. याच्याने तुम्हाला आपल्याच जगाची ओळख होईल. लेट मी टेक यू टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. तर आपण आज बघणार आहोत बायोलॅटरल अँड मल्टीलॅटरल. What we are going to discuss? Bilateral and काय बघणार आहोत आपण? Bilateral and multilateral. So the policies, international policies are developed at a two level, bilateral and multilateral. Bilateral कोणाला म्हणतो आपण? When there are two country, especially two country involved. आता G20 मध्ये बांगलादेश आणि भारत यांच्यामध्ये एक करार झाला, तो दॅट इज बायोलॅटरल. तर तो करार फक्त दोनच देशांमध्ये. कुठल्या देशांमध्ये येतो बायोलॅटरल? कुठल्या देशांमध्ये झाला रिसेंटली G20?
बांगलादेश आणि इंडिया.
येस, बांगलादेश आणि भारत, इंडिया, त्यांच्यामध्येच फक्त तो झाला. दॅट इज बायोलॅटरल. सो द रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह ऑफ फ्रॉम बांगलादेश, Sheikh Hasina, she was heading Bangladesh, and from India, Bharat, Mr. Narendra Modi. So they are just representative of these two countries, and they agreed upon certain agreement. So that is bilateral. Now multilateral. Multilateral, it is the agreement or policy where more than two countries involved. That is multilateral. Like say sometime India, Bangladesh, USA and China, maybe another fifth one, त्याला म्हणतो आपण multilateral. So agreement may be at bilateral as well as multilateral. Now from our syllabus, let me read out unit number 2. There are trade policies, unilateral and multilateral trade policies. And त्यानंतर tariffs in competitive market. Tariff is nothing but the charges, rates, that is tariff. So make a note of this, the meaning of bilateral and multilateral. Bilateral means only two countries are involved, and multilateral, three or more countries, especially the government of different countries. वेगळ्या देशांचे गव्हर्नमेंट, फ्रॉम इंडिया, इंडियन गव्हर्नमेंट, USA, China, maybe from France, Britain, likewise. So that is multilateral. Are you clear with these two meaning, bilateral and multilateral? I doubt hai ka? Any doubt? May I go to the next slide then?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, about this trade policy, how these trade policies involve. So this was a very long back. That was in 1995. Today we are in 2023. So in 1995, GATT stand for General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, that is known as GATT. So what is this GATT? It is a multinational agreement regulating international trade. So many times what happens when we want to have a trade across the globe, then there are different countries. Naturally, different countries, different governments are there, and there is a quarrel, there is a dispute between these among these countries. प्रत्येक जण आपापली बाजू मांडण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो, and there are some differences. काही मतभेद पण असतात देशादेशांमध्ये, वेगळ्या याच्यामध्ये, आणि नॅचरली इट हॅपन्स. आपण घरामध्ये सुद्धा एखादा डिसिजन घेताना सगळ्यांची मतं होत नाहीत. आई वेगळं सांगते, वडील वेगळं सांगतात, भाऊ वेगळं म्हणतो, बहीण अजून काहीतरी वेगळं सांगते. सो आपल्याला हा घरातला पण अनुभव आहे. आपण तर आता हे जगाबद्दल बोलतोय. जगामध्ये तुम्हाला जेव्हा काही एखादा ट्रेड करायचा असेल तर हे मतभेद असणं स्वाभाविक आहे. त्याच्यात काही असं खूप काही सिरियस आहे असं मी म्हणत नाही. इट इज नॉट ॲट ऑल, इट इज नॉट सिरियस, बट हाऊ इट शुड बी रेग्युलेटेड, दॅट इज द स्ट्रॅटेजी, अँड दॅट स्ट्रॅटेजी वॉज डेव्हलप इन दिस गॅट. तर हा गॅटचा जन्म झाला वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गनायझेशन मध्ये, पण त्याच्या आधी खूप आधी हा तशी सुरुवात झाली याची. म्हणजे आपलं स्वातंत्र्य मिळण्याच्या आधी 1947 त्यावेळेला गॅट हा, म्हणजे त्याच वेळेला आपल्याला स्वातंत्र्य मिळालं आणि तेव्हाच तो गॅटचा पण ही सुरुवात झालेली. तर ह्या गॅट मध्ये काय आहे, त्याचं प्रिएम्बल काय आहे, अकॉर्डिंग टू इट्स प्रिएम्बल, इट्स पर्पज, त्याचा ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह काय, वॉज द सबस्टॅन्शियल रिडक्शन ऑफ टेरिफ. म्हणजे जे काही चार्जेस आहेत वर्ल्ड लेवलला त्याच्यामध्ये कपात होणे गरजेचं आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये रिडक्शन व्हायला पाहिजे. सो दॅट वॉज ऑब्जेक्ट. पूर्वी काय असायचं, एका देशातून दुसऱ्या देशात खूप काही चार्जेस प्रत्येक देश लावायचा आणि मग ती वस्तू महाग पडायची. तर हा त्यांचा मुख्य उद्देश होता, सबस्टॅन्शियल रिडक्शन ऑफ टॅरिफ अँड अदर ट्रेड बॅरियर्स. आपण काल परवा पण बघितलं बॅरियर्स. कुठले कुठले बॅरियर्स बघितले आपण? बॅरियर्स कुठले कुठले बघितले? ट्रेड बॅरियर्स. व्हॉट आर द ट्रेड बॅरियर्स वी हॅव लर्न? येस, येस स्टुडंट. कुठे कुठे ट्रेड बॅरियर आपण कालच आपण बोललो ना, का विसरलात? रात्री झोपलात आणि सकाळी विसरलात? बोललो का आपण ट्रेड बॅरियर बद्दल? व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय बॅरियर? येस,
Obstacle.
ऑब्स्टॅकल. सो हर्डल्स. तर आपण कुठले हर्डल्स बोललो वैष्णवी? Which are the hurdles we talked in?
Language barriers.
Okay. ठीक आहे, आता हे सेकंड लाईन तुम्ही वाचा. प्रिएम्बल, प्रिएम्बल किंवा ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह. काय ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह गॅटचा? कुणीतरी एक जण वाचा, काय ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह आहे? According to its preamble, its purpose was the, read out, its purpose was
substantial reduction of tariffs and other
And-
trade barriers.
अदर ट्रेड बॅरियर्स. तर आता हे बॅरियर्स किती प्रकारचे होते, विल एक्सप्लेन यू. तर याच्यासाठी गॅट मध्ये हे एक प्रपोजल मांडण्यात आलं. देर वॉज अ प्रपोजल, दिस प्रपोजल, की ट्रेड बॅरियर आपण कमी केले पाहिजेत. आता फर्स्ट वी विल अंडरस्टँड व्हॉट इज ट्रेड बॅरियर. तर मी तुम्हाला ते दुसरी स्लाइड ओपन करतो. जस्ट गिव्ह मी अ सेकंड. Yes, can you see this slide? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's
So-
visible.
Yes, so trade barriers, any hurdle or roadblocks that hampers in the business when we make payment or when we send goods from one destination to another, like from one country to another country, त्याला म्हणतो आपण trade barrier. So this trade barrier should be reduced. That was the first agenda of GATT. I hope now you are getting the meaning of trade barrier. आता याचे प्रकार किती आहेत ते आपण बघूया ट्रेड बॅरियरचे. Can you see this diagram? I'm making larger this. Can you see this diagram?
Yes, yes.
Okay. How many? See, on the basis of origin, this is one barrier. हा एक अडथळा आहे इंटरनॅशनल ट्रेड मध्ये. हा दिस इज वन ऑफ द हर्डल की ज्याला आपण मराठीत म्हणतो अडचण किंवा अडथळा. दॅट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ओरिजिन, देन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ क्वांटिफिकेशन अँड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पर्पज. आता आपण हे आय थिंक येस्टरडे आय कवर्ड द फर्स्ट, दॅट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ओरिजिन. काही घेतलं का आपण कालच्या सेशन मध्ये का काहीच नाही झालं?
Sir, on the basis of origin we finished, remaining
Yes.
2.
Yeah, remaining 2 are left. So, this was the basic objective of this GATT, General Trade Agreement. हा जो GATT होता, त्यांचा हा one of the objective to reduce trade barriers. So now let's know about second barrier on the basis of quantification. Now, on the basis of quantification, now what it is? A specific duty and ad valorem duty. हे दोन प्रकारच्या ड्युटी. ड्युटी म्हणजे काय? इट इज नथिंग बट द टॅक्स किंवा ज्याला आपण चार्ज म्हणू शकतो त्याला ड्युटी म्हणतात इंटरनॅशनल लेवल ड्युटी. सो स्पेसिफिक ड्युटी अँड ऍड व्हलोरम ड्युटी दॅट शुड बी रिवाइज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ क्वांटिफिकेशन. स्पेसिफिक ड्युटी, इट इज द फ्लॅट अमाउंट कलेक्टेड ऑन अ युनिट विच इज इम्पोर्टेड. एका युनिटवरती म्हणजे समजा तुम्ही एक युनिट जर लावला तर से फॉर एक्झाम्पल से 15 and if you are importing 2 units, so 15 plus 15 30 will be specific duty. म्हणजे एका युनिटवरती फिक्स तो फ्लॅट रेट आहे तो, त्याला म्हणतो आपण स्पेसिफिक ड्युटी. अँड ऍड व्हलोरम ड्युटी ही व्हॅल्यूवरती लावायची, युनिटवर नाही लावायचं. त्या युनिटची व्हॅल्यू किती आहे त्याच्यावरती लावायचं, त्याला म्हणतो आपण ऍड व्हलोरम ड्युटी. सो ऍड व्हलोरम and specific duty, this comes under the quantification. Now, next one is non-tariff barriers. याच्यामध्ये काही नॉन टेरिफ बॅरियर्स पण होते, नॉट ओनली रिलेटेड टू द टॅरिफ बट अदर दॅन टॅरिफ ऑल्सो. तर कुठला बॅरियर होता? कोटा, पर्टिक्युलर कोटा. सो दॅट कोटा वॉज वन ऑफ द हर्डल in the international trade. So it was also discussed by GATT and other committees that how we can sort out this matter about the quota. Then licensing, the particular country was given license. So that licensing, on what basis license should be granted. So that policy, and there should be transparency, that it should not be hide from any country. It should be open. A country who is fulfilling that criteria, that country should be given license. So that kind of transparency over a period of time at international trade it was developed. And then health and safety, that was also another we can say the serious thing, that while importing or exporting any material from one country to another country, it should be healthy. It should not be cause for unhealth of that particular country. And if it is unhealthy, then such trade should be controlled, or it should not be allowed. And there are many examples. Sometimes there are some products which are harmful, to the citizen. So such harmful product should not be allowed, and it should be safety also. If it is not safety, then such trade should not be given permission. Now, let us understand the tariff barriers. Tariff barriers. So basically DTA, domestic tariff area, a levy collected on goods when they enter the domestic tariff area. The levy, what do you mean by levy? Levy means, again, it is a charge, a rate, which is being charged on that particular amount, that is levy. And we know the ad valorem duty and specific duty. Just now, we understand the meaning. Specific duty, it is the flat rate, and ad valorem duty, which is charged on the value that we have seen. And then there is another third duty, that is compound duty. It is one that combines the above two. म्हणजे ad valorem duty and specific duty, both are combined in compound duty. The name itself, compound duty म्हणजे काय? There is a combination of ad valorem duty and specific duty. त्याला म्हणतो आपण compound duty. Now, about quota system. Quota system, quantity of commodity permitted to be imported from various countries during a given period is fixed in advance. तर किती क्वांटिटी मध्ये importing व्हायला पाहिजे, किती quantity, so that kind of quota is decided in advance. ते अगोदरच ठरवलं जातं किती, ऐन वेळेला नाही. You have to decide this in advance. Then developing countries may use quotas in place of tariff. जे developing countries आहेत, they may use quota in place of tariffs. Example, textile quota. This is one of the example on multi-fiber agreement. On multi-fiber agreement. Now, everyone just read this Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So, so it is the alternative to the quota system and licensing, which is useful for restricting the total quantity to be imported. So if a particular country wants to restrict a quantity, so that restriction can be given under the licensing. म्हणजे याच्यामध्ये काय होतं की ठराविकच कंपन्यांना ते लायसन्स द्यायचं, सगळ्यांना नाही द्यायचं. सो ऑटोमॅटिकली यू कॅन कंट्रोल the importing. Then imports are allowed under license. ज्या कंपनीला ते लायसन्स असेल त्यांनाच फक्त ते इम्पोर्ट दिलं जातं. अदर कंपनीज आर नॉट ऑथराइज टू इम्पोर्ट टू सम अदर कंट्री. तर त्यामुळे याच्यावरती एक प्रकारचं एक कंट्रोल असतं, नियंत्रण होतं याच्यामुळे लायसन्सिंग वर. And under licensing, foreign exchange is also provided. So this is about the licensing. त्यापासून मला हाच एक पॉइंट कव्हर करायचा होता याच्यामध्ये अबाउट ट्रेड बॅरियर्स. These are some for your information. Rise of new economies at international level. So economy of Japan is the third largest in the world by nominal GDP. So nominal GDP is one of the criteria. त्या GDPच्या criteria नुसार Japan is the third largest economy in the world and the fourth largest by purchasing power parity, and is the world's second largest developed economy. As well as Japan is also the world's third largest automobile manufacturing company. Then in case of our neighbor country, China, China is world's second largest economy by nominal GDP. So China second and Japan third. And can you guess who is at number one? China ranking at a second position, Japan third position.
USA.
USA. Yes, correct. Very correct, Rohan. USA is number one, second China, and third is Japan. Now look at India. India, 10th largest in the world by nominal GDP. So our stand is at 10th position according to nominal GDP. So here you can imagine that if we want to go ahead, we need to do a lot of things. Then only we can achieve this position. So this was just for your information. Now coming back to this. Again, I am taking you to the previous slide, which we were discussing about GATT. Can you view this PPT, GATT PPT? Is it visible? GATT.
Yes.
So I take you to the previous slide just because of trade barrier, just to make you aware about the trade barrier. So I pause this slide and refer earlier slides. Now coming back to this GATT, it was negotiated during the United Nations conference. जसं आता आपल्याकडे मागच्या आठवड्यात कॉन्फरन्स झाली G20 ची. India was the host country. India was the host country. And now next, I think next is Brazil, where G20 will happen in Brazil. So GATT's पहिलीची conference झाली United Nations conference मध्ये on trade and employment, and was the outcome of the failure of negotiating government to create international trade organization. मग त्याच्यामध्ये ठरवलं गेलं की ITO, इंटरनॅशनल ट्रेड ऑर्गनायझेशन, ही अशी कमिटी तयार केली पाहिजे. देन गॅट वॉज साइन इन 1947 आणि हे कंटिन्यू झालं 1994 पर्यंत. सो फ्रॉम 1947 टू 1994 गॅट वॉज कंटिन्यूड. त्यानंतर मग त्याचा रिप्लेसमेंट झाला. देन इट वॉज रिप्लेस बाय वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गनायझेशन इन 1995. मधल्या काळात ITO होतं, इंटरनॅशनल ट्रेड ऑर्गनायझेशन. देन ITO च्या नंतर मग WTO आला, वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गनायझेशन, WTO. WTO च्या आधी होतं ITO, and then WTO came in 1995. So this is just overall background of GATT. Let me summarize again. GATT, which is the agreement, and it is known as multilateral agreement. It is not bilateral, it is multilateral agreement, and it regulates international trade. And their objective is substantial reduction of tariff and other trade barriers. You can trade barriers here on the basis of quantification, on the basis of origin. हे barriers त्यांनी कमी करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला त्याच्यामध्ये. हा त्यांचा अजेंडा होता. Now, let's see the GATT round. किती याचे राउंड झाले? GATT round. So the general agreement on, sorry, let me take you to the GATT round. Is it visible? GATT round.
Yes.
So these GATT rounds, first time in 1947, it happened in Geneva. Geneva is the place, and almost 23 countries participated in 1947. And what was the subject discussed? Tariff. हे सगळे 23 देश फक्त आणि फक्त tariff वरती बोलले. Tariff was the main topic in 1947 conference. त्यानंतर मग 1949 ला NEC मध्ये ही कॉन्फरन्स भरली आणि त्यावेळेला फक्त 13 देशांनी भाग घेतला. Now you will be surprised that then what about the other 10 countries? Due to some problem issue, they did not participate. तर त्यावेळेला फक्त 13 होते, and the same topic, that is tariff, was discussed. And then again in 1950, third round of GATT happened in Turkey, and again the number of countries increased, 38 countries. त्यावेळेला सुद्धा त्यांनी टॅरिफ वरतीच त्यांनी तो टॉपिक घेतला, टॅरिफ. कारण टॅरिफ ट्रेड बॅरियर्स वॉज द बिगेस्ट इश्यू ऍट इंटरनॅशनल लेवल. तो तिन्ही राऊंड मध्ये if you observe, in almost every round they discuss on tariff, because tariff was the biggest hurdle in international trade. मग जिनेवा मध्ये परत सेकंड कॉन्फरन्स झाली, जिनेवा सेकंड in 1956. That time 26 countries participated. And if you see in recent, that is in 2001, today we are in 2013, 22 years before, it happened in Doha. Almost 159 countries, 159 देश त्याच्यामध्ये सहभागी झाले. They participated in this round and they discussed the topic tariff, then non-tariff measures agriculture, labor standard, environment, competition, investment, transparency, patents, lot of issues were discussed in the year 2001 in Doha, and almost 159 countries participated. And even recently, it was not GATT round, but G20, when it happened in Delhi, त्यावेळेला सुद्धा the important point was environment. They discuss on the environment, how we should improve our environment, because day by day our environment is affecting worstly, and if we continue to worsen this environment, then each and every country will be in a danger zone. So that was the alarm is given in Delhi meeting in last week, and that is why their motto or slogan was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Have you heard this line in G20?
Yes.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So that was the theme, and all 20 countries agreed upon this. They also supported India. Yes, we should follow this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Like our not country, but entire globe is our family. Entire say our earth is one family. So that kind of comprehensive approach was given by Indian government, and this is very proud moment for all of us, that even other countries they have also agreed upon this. So this environment, even in 2023 also, everyone wants to protect, wants to improve the environment, and this is the need of an hour. Let me take you to the next slide. This is WTO, and before WTO, which organization was there before WTO?
International Trade Organization.
Yes, ITO, International Trade Organization was there. Then ITO replaced with WTO, and this established in 1995. ITO from 1947 till 95 it was there. Then after that, in 1995, WTO came at a world level. It established in 1995 as a successor institution to the GATT. Even it was successor for GATT also. And in 1995, it has 150 members country, and representing over 98% of the world trade. म्हणजे जगामध्ये जो 100% जो काही व्यापार चालतो त्यातला 98% व्यापार याच्यामध्ये कव्हर झाला. Only 2% was left, and that was defense. That was defense. So 98% world trade was covered. So this is the progress, and 150 member countries, they were the member of this WTO. And their headquarters is in Geneva, which is in Switzerland country. Geneva is located in Switzerland. So there is a head office is there of WTO. Please note this, because you will be asked short question on this topic about WTO. So everyone please read out, which is given our subject also by university. And for our knowledge purpose also, we must know so today we'll stop here. Other part we will discuss in the next session. So before we close our session, in case if you have any query or doubt, you are free to ask. Otherwise, we'll end the session.
Sir, ITO was established in 1947.
Yes. 1947. And it continued till 1995. And let me tell you, only they have changed the name and some agenda was added there. But core part was the same, that is tariff. Tariff was the core part. In addition to this, then they added environment, transparency, patent. या गोष्टी त्याच्यामध्ये ऍड करत गेले ते. But the core part was tariff. Tariff should be economical, it should be affordable by each and every country. हा त्याचा होता. कारण काय आता there are some particular country who are having influence over other countries or who are having dominant position. तर त्या कंट्रीजला थोडासा कंट्रोल करण्यासाठी पण या अग्रीमेंटची मदत झाली. So that other country should have equal opportunity. आता तुम्ही बघितलं असेल रिसेंटली G20 we have inducted African countries into this G20, and then we invited African country to be a part of this G20, become a member, and they agreed. तुम्ही बघितलं असेल टीव्ही वरती when our external affair minister Jay Shankaran, who is external affair minister in India right now, external affair minister is Jay Shankaran. This स्वतः Jay Shankaran, he walked and he invited, because Prime Minister announced, and then Jay Shankaran, he accompanied that representative of African country to be a member of this G20. So these are some additions are happening over a period of time, and that is why the slogan was one family, that Earth is one family. Not only India or not only ASEAN, but entire Earth. So this is a very comprehensive approach which we are leading, and we are given this new thought to the globe. India has given this new thought. We should treat entire Earth as a one family. So that's a biggest dream, and countries are appreciating this dream too. So we'll stop here. Have a good day. See you in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.